Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into something pretty big.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, as most people call it.
Right.
We're going through some study guide notes. They were actually originally written in Chinese.
Wow.
And they get into how AI is impacting all of our lives.
Yeah. It's already happening, isn't it?
It really is, and I think it's only going to accelerate from here.
Absolutely.
So are you ready to kind of explore this future that in a lot of ways is already here?
I am. Let's do it.
I am too. All right. So
These notes,
Yeah.
they really emphasize that AI isn't just about, robots taking over the world. Like
the Terminator.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's already a part of our lives, even if we don't always see it.
Yeah. You know what? I think you're right. A lot of people, they hear AI and they think of
Science fiction.
science fiction, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that.
It really is.
So where do we even begin to unpack this incredibly complex world of AI?
Well, these study notes, they actually do a great job of breaking down some of the key terms.
Okay.
Like, for example, machine learning.
Okay.
It's actually a lot simpler than it sounds.
So,
Imagine a computer that can learn from data without having to be specifically programmed for every single scenario.
okay. That makes sense. So instead of a programmer like writing code for every possible outcome,
Right.
the machine is learning from experience kind of like we do.
Exactly. It's learning from experience.
Oh.
Think about like the recommendations you get on Netflix or Spotify.
Uh-huh.
That's machine learning in action. The system is analyzing what you've watched,
Right.
what you've listened to, and then suggests things you might enjoy based on your past behavior.
Oh, that's a great example.
Yeah.
So it's like having this personal DJ or movie curator that knows your taste better than you do.
Exactly.
But wait, what about deep learning?
Oh, yeah.
How's that different from machine learning?
So that's a great question. Deep learning is essentially like a more advanced subset of
Right.
machine learning.
Mm-hmm.
It uses something called artificial neural networks,
Okay.
which are inspired by the structure of the human brain
Wow.
to analyze even more intricate data.
Whoa. Artificial neural networks. That sounds intense.
It is.
So how do these networks actually work? Can you break it down for us?
Sure. So imagine a network of like interconnected nodes.
Mm-hmm.
Each one is processing information and passing it on to the next node.
Okay.
This lets the system learn complex patterns and relationships within the data,
Okay.
much like our own brains do.
So it's kind of like a digital brain that can process information and learn from it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So how's this being applied in the real world? We've talked about Netflix recommendations.
Right.
What else can deep learning do?
Oh, it's being used for some really amazing things.
Like?
Like facial recognition software,
Oh, wow.
self-driving cars,
Hmm.
and even medical diagnoses.
Hold on. Medical diagnoses? You mean AI is already being used to help doctors diagnose diseases?
There are AI systems being developed right now that can analyze medical images,
Wow.
like x-rays and scans, to detect things that a human doctor might miss.
Mm-hmm.
This can help diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately,
Wow.
which could be life-saving.
That's incredible. It sounds like AI is already having a huge impact on healthcare.
Absolutely.
But it's not all about, life or death situations, right?
All right.
What about those AI-powered art generators that I've been seeing online?
Oh, yeah.
Those seem pretty far removed from medical diagnoses.
Yeah, that's a great point. AI is also being used in more creative fields, like art and music.
Really?
Yeah, there are AI systems now that can create original pieces of music paintings, even poetry.
I've seen some of the AI-generated art online, and it's pretty wild.
It is pretty amazing.
Makes you wonder what the future holds for human artists and musicians. Are we
Yeah.
all going to be replaced by robots?
That's a question a lot of people are asking, and it's something we'll definitely be exploring further in this deep dive. AI will for sure automate some tasks, but it's also creating new opportunities and pushing the boundaries of human creativity.
It's easy to get caught up in the fear of AI taking over.
Yeah,
But technology has always disrupted industries and created new ones.
that's right.
I mean, look at the printing press or the internet.
Exactly. And just like those previous technological revolutions, AI will undoubtedly transform the job market.
Right.
Some jobs will become automated, but new ones will emerge.
Requiring new skills and expertise.
Exactly.
So the key takeaway here is that we need to be adaptable, embrace lifelong learning,
Absolutely.
and be prepared to evolve alongside this technology.
I completely agree.
All right.
Speaking of the future,
Yeah.
These notes also highlight some of the potential downsides of AI,
Okay.
especially when it comes to jobs.
Okay, let's dive into that a little deeper in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good. Welcome back to our deep dive into AI.
Now, before we jump into those potential downsides,
Right?
I'm curious about this whole idea of AI and jobs.
Yeah.
The study notes specifically mentioned automation,
Mm-hmm.
but history has shown us that, advancements in technology also lead to new jobs.
Yeah, that's right. Think of it this way. AI is like a powerful tool.
Yeah, but
It can automate certain tasks, which might mean some jobs go away,
right.
but it also creates entirely new products and services,
Okay.
which can lead to new industries and jobs that we haven't even thought of yet.
That makes sense. So it's not just about jobs being replaced.
Right.
It's about the whole landscape of work kind of shifting.
Exactly.
What new jobs do you think might emerge as AI becomes more common?
Well, we're already seeing a huge need for AI specialists,
Oh, yeah.
people who can develop, implement, and manage these really complex systems.
All right.
But I think beyond that, we'll see a rise in jobs that really require creativity,
Okay.
critical thinking, and the ability to work alongside AI.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So instead of being afraid of AI taking our jobs,
Mhm.
we should focus on adapting and thriving in this new environment. So it's all about lifelong learning
Yes.
and developing those uniquely human skills that AI can't replicate.
Absolutely. AI is great at processing information and following rules,
Right.
but it's not so good at things like creativity, empathy, and complex decision-making.
Those are the things that make us human.
Exactly.
Okay, so for our listeners who might be feeling a bit anxious about all of this,
Yeah.
what advice would you give them?
Well, like we said, critical thinking and creativity are going to be essential,
Okay.
but I'd also emphasize communication, collaboration, and being adaptable. The ability to work with others, solve problems, and adapt to new situations is going to be super valuable.
So it's not just about learning technical skills.
Right.
It's about those really core human qualities.
Absolutely. Those are the things that will always be in demand.
But let's talk about some of those downsides of AI,
Okay.
particularly when it comes to the job market. The study notes did raise some concerns about automation and job displacement.
Yes, and it's a valid concern. There's no doubt that AI will automate some tasks and roles,
Mm-hmm.
and that could lead to some job losses in certain sectors.
But we've seen this before, haven't we?
We have technological developments have always disrupted the job market.
Like the Industrial Revolution or the
Yeah.
rise of the internet.
Exactly. And although there have been job losses along the way,
Right.
new opportunities have also emerged.
So you believe the same thing will happen with AI?
I do. While some jobs may disappear, new ones will be created.
Okay.
The key is to be adaptable, embrace lifelong learning,
Right.
and develop those in-demand skills.
So it's not about resisting change.
No.
It's about anticipating it and preparing for it.
Exactly.
But how do we do that? How can we prepare for a future that's so heavily influenced by AI?
Well, I think staying informed is really important.
Okay.
Read articles, listen to podcasts like this one,
Of course.
and try to understand how AI works and how it might impact your field.
Knowledge is power.
It really is. The more you understand about AI, the better you'll be able to navigate the changes.
But beyond staying informed, what else can people do?
Well, I think it's important to be proactive about learning new skills.
Okay.
Figure out where your current skills might be vulnerable, and look for opportunities to learn new things that work well with AI.
So assess your strengths and weaknesses
Yeah,
and then fill in the gaps.
exactly.
But this isn't just about individual responsibility, is it?
No, it's not.
What role should governments and educational institutions play in all of this?
Well, they have a really big role to play.
Okay.
They need to ensure that people have the skills and support they need to thrive in an AI-powered economy.
How can they do that?
Well, by investing in retraining programs,
Okay.
promoting STEM education,
Right.
and building partnerships between industry and academia.
It sounds like a collaborative effort is needed.
It does. Individuals need to be proactive,
Mm.
but they also need support.
But this isn't just about economics, is it?
No, it's not.
AI has the potential to change so many aspects of our lives.
It does healthcare, education, transportation.
It's a powerful tool that can be used for good or for bad
And it's up to all of us to shape its development.
and ensure that it benefits everyone.
Absolutely.
It's not just some abstract technology.
No.
It's something that will impact us all.
And future generations.
How do we make sure that this impact is positive?
That's the big question.
How do we deal with the ethical challenges?
That's what we'll be exploring in the final part of our deep dive.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive. It's time for the final part, of our exploration of AI.
Well, it's fascinating how these study guide notes, even though they're so technical,
Right.
they still bring up all these ethical questions. It's like
Mm.
the people who wrote them knew that AI isn't just about the technology itself.
Yeah.
It's about how it impacts people and society.
That's so important. And, it would be really easy to get lost in all the technical stuff and forget that AI is a tool
Yeah,
made by humans.
right.
Like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Exactly. And that's why it's crucial to have these conversations about ethics now.
Yeah.
While AI is still relatively new,
Yeah.
We have a chance to really shape its future.
Right. And make sure it aligns with our values.
Exactly.
So where do we even begin with something as complex as AI ethics?
Well, the notes highlight a few key areas,
Okay.
like the potential for AI to be used in ways that could actually harm people,
Okay.
the need for transparency and accountability in AI development,
Right.
and then considering the wider societal impacts.
Okay, so let's break those down.
Yeah,
First, the potential for AI to be used in harmful ways.
right.
What kind of scenarios are we talking about here?
We're talking about situations where AI systems make decisions
Okay.
that have big consequences for people, but where there isn't enough human oversight.
Can you give us an example?
Sure, imagine an AI system that's used to decide who gets health care
Okay.
or who gets approved for a loan.
Uh-huh.
Now, if that system is biased or makes a mistake,
Yeah.
it could have a devastating impact on people's lives.
It makes you realize that we need to be so careful about how we design and use these systems.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't just assume that AI is fair or accurate just because it's AI.
Exactly. And that brings us to the second point, transparency and accountability.
Yes, if we're going to trust AI to make important decisions,
Right.
we have to understand how it works.
But AI can be so complex.
It can.
Even the experts don't always understand how it comes to its conclusions.
It's true. It's what's called the black box problem.
Right.
But I think we can still make it more transparent. We can create tools to audit AI systems
Okay.
so we can see how they're making decisions, and we can push for regulations that require companies to be more open about their AI.
So more transparency leads to more accountability.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on to the third point, those broader societal impacts of AI.
Right. So here we're thinking about how AI might reshape the economy, the workforce, and even our social interactions.
Okay.
So for example, as AI gets smarter, it's probably going to automate more jobs.
Yeah. Right, and that could lead to more unemployment. Exactly, unless we prepare for it, which is something we talked about earlier.
We did. It's not just about individual jobs. It's about whole industries changing.
Yeah.
And then there are the social impacts.
Okay.
As we interact more with AI, it could affect our communication skills and our ability to empathize with other people.
That's a really interesting thought. How might AI shape the future of human relationships?
Big question.
Yeah.
AI has so much potential for good,
Right.
but there could also be unintended consequences if we're not careful.
So it's not just about developing the technology itself.
Right.
It's about developing it responsibly.
Absolutely, and ethically.
And how do we do that?
I think the key is to keep talking about it, to involve different people in developing AI,
Okay.
and to always remember those human values.
This deep dive has been amazing.
It has been.
It's really made me think about AI in a whole new way.
Me too.
Not just the technology,
Right.
but the ethical and societal impacts.
Absolutely.
I hope it's encouraged our listeners to think about AI in their own lives.
I hope so too.
Well, this has been another fascinating deep dive into the world of AI.
It really has.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
And stay curious.
And